think it was early last year that every third or fourth video in my feed was somebody being like, what is a conspiracy theory that you actually believe in? I never made one of those videos, so I was reminded of them tonight and I thought I would share the conspiracy theory that I believe in. Okay, let's take a deep breath. You ready? I don't think Jesus ever existed. At best, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 shot, but personally, I don't think that the religion, the Gospels, were ever meant to be based around a real flesh and blood human being. I think a small group of Hellenized Jews who lived somewhere towards the beginning of the Roman Empire created Jesus. They cherry picked prophecies from the Old Testament and used those to create sort of the skeleton of a biography for the man. This would explain why we have four different gospels who say such drastically different things about Jesus, even giving different dates for his birth, different dates for his death, different days on which he was crucified, and what happened after he died. Much of the New Testament is taken up by epistles that are attributed to Paul, 13 of them to be exact, of which I believe 7 are considered to be authentic or mostly authentic, and 6 are considered to be not authentic for various reasons. Paul's letter to the Galatians is the most interesting one in the context of this conversation because in Galatians, he mentions going to meet with Peter. And most people assume that this is Peter the Apostle, the first pope, the right-hand man of Jesus. As many people have pointed out, in Paul's letters, he never speaks about Jesus' life on earth. You would think that in Galatians, when he talks about meeting Peter, he would also say, by the way, Jerome, you wanted me to find out from Peter if Jesus liked figs. Peter said no. But there's nothing like that. So not only does Paul argue with the people that arguably would have known Jesus best in this world, but he also shows absolutely no interest in the things that Jesus said or did in any of his letters, which I find mind-boggling if you think that this person who really lived was the most important human to have ever existed. You would think you'd want to know something about him. And then beyond that, you've got the general progression of the Gospels from Mark, the earliest and simplest, where Jesus is a lot like the George Reeves version of Superman from the old serials in the 1940s, all the way to John's Gospel, which is the latest to have been written, where Jesus is suddenly like Henry Cavill's Superman, where he is unbothered because all of this stuff is beneath him, nothing can hurt him, and he's just going along with it because it's what he has to do. That's my conspiracy theory. Obviously, there's more to it than that. So if you guys would like me to make more videos or something that's a little bit more in depth, I can do that. As you can tell, it's a topic I really enjoy reading and talking about. If you made it all the way to the end, thanks for staying. And I promise I'm only a little bit crazy.